Hello everybody, welcome back to the vlog. We are officially moved into our new flat. We've actually been here a couple weeks. It's just been a very slow process accumulating things that we need. The apartment did come partially furnished, so we didn't have to buy a couch or a bed or a coffee table or anything right away, which was nice. But we've still been accumulating all of the life things. We bought a TV, dishes, Tupperware, silverware, that sort of thing. I have made many a trip to IKEA and TK Maxx, which is England's pretty much exact equivalent of TJ Maxx in the US. I have learned it's really not as easy as driving your car up to Target and loading it up with stuff. Since we're walking and taking the train everywhere, you know, I've been buying one kitchen pot at a time and putting it in my purse and carrying it home. We also ordered a bunch of stuff online that's slowly been trickling in. Patrick did get a new desk and chair for his work setup. I got a new little table here that actually can extend further so I can use it as a desk or my crafting space. But you do just kind of forget all of the things that you use on a regular basis. Like I'll go to make dinner and realize, oh, we don't own a vegetable peeler anymore. Every time that happens, I'm just adding things to the list of stuff to buy eventually. We had also shipped a few more suitcases of our stuff separately from the luggage that we brought with us at the airport. So now that stuff finally arrived now that we have a address. So now we actually have some of my old like home decor stuff, pictures, blankets, all of my art stuff that I saved is now here, which I'm so happy about. It's really crazy how much of a difference it makes just being surrounded by familiar objects. Like having my couch blanket and some of our old decor and stuff that I saved, it just has made such a difference in making this place feel a little bit more homey. If there's anybody from here, could you let me know where's a good place to go thrifting for home decor? I have all of my old art prints that we had hanging in our last apartment, and I need to buy new picture frames to hang those here. And I don't know where to go. I want something like kind of quirky, inexpensive. I believe they're called charity shops here instead of thrift stores. But so far the ones that I've seen are more clothing heavy versus home decor stuff. So where's a good spot to go to look for that sort of thing? On another exciting note, this apartment building actually shares a courtyard space with kind of like the other surrounding apartments on this block. And there are foxes that like to hang out back there, like wild foxes. I did not know that this was a thing in London. I don't think I've ever even seen a wild red fox before, and now I'm seeing one like every day. I kind of have a feeling though that people don't really like them or think of them as a pest or something, because Odie first sniffed out a fox in one of the bushes out there. It peeked its head out, everybody jumped and ran away. It was kind of scary.
When you're the best of friends.
And then after that, I bumped into a person like coming and going at the same time as me in the building. I was like flustered. I was like, oh my, like, there's a fox out there. This person did not say anything, just kind of looked at me like, which made me think that maybe seeing a fox here is like the equivalent of seeing a raccoon in the States. Seeing a raccoon there is like seeing a cat. If I bumped into a stranger who was like, oh my God, I just saw a raccoon, I'd be like,
okay.
So that's been me humiliating myself with my excitement about the foxes, but I just love them. Except at 3 a.m. when they are screaming bloody murder during their mating rituals. Did you guys know that foxes scream a blood-curdling, you think somebody is dying scream? Because I didn't. I did have my first experience with strangers being mad at me on the internet. The Brits found my last video and absolutely roasted me in the comments for shopping at the wrong grocery store. Guys, I'm really sorry. And I can't stress this enough, don't know what I'm doing. I have never lived in another state, let alone another country, so all of this is just trial and error for me based on my very specific, very limited personal experience based on nothing. I do recognize the humor though in me saying that we're on a budget and then shopping at the most expensive grocery store I can find. That would be like somebody going to the US on a budget and being like, hey, I found this great little spot called Whole Foods. Yeah, unfortunately, that's me in the UK. It's not the legacy that I hope to leave, but a lot of people actually did leave me really helpful, nice advice about where to shop and where to go. And so I really do appreciate that. Thank you. I read your comments and I am well on my way to enjoying affordable ice cream once again. I can see the analytics of people who watch my videos. And I will say that more men watched my last video than any of my other previous videos combined. So while some people were trying to be helpful and give me advice, some comments got flagged and removed by YouTube for the first time for me. The gist of those being that I'm a sad, whiny, ugly idiot who's gonna get cancer from all the sugar that I eat. The men found me and they did not like me. These are some clips from the past few weeks in February. We've just been trying to get out, explore the city. It seems like each neighborhood has its own open marketplace with food stalls and vendors, so we've been checking those out, trying new foods. We've also visited a few different parks. All the bulb flowers like daffodils and tulips started to bloom. I'm suddenly keenly interested in identifying birds, which is a new riveting hobby that eventually claims us all, kids. A lot of the museums here are free to visit, so we've been to the Natural History Museum, Science Museum, the Victoria and Albert Art Museum. That's been a really nice rainy day activity for us. It's nice to just take your time, wander around. If we don't see everything, it's okay, because we can go back. Hi there. I am in a little bit of a funk this week, just spending way too much time in my own head. I really need to break free from these cranial shackles, so to speak. So we're gonna do something that I've been wanting to do since we got here, which is go to the craft store. If you're new here, I like arts and crafts. I had to get rid of a lot of my art supply stash when we moved here. I'm not gonna go crazy trying to replace and rebuy things, but I do wanna go have a look around, see what we're working with. I have walked through a Cass art supply store that I just kind of stumbled upon one day. It was fine, just pretty small and mostly dedicated to just painting and drawing supplies. But some people in my comments have told me that I need to check out Hobbycraft. Supposedly that's the UK equivalent to a Michael's. Unfortunately, I don't live super close to one, which is why I haven't been yet. But today we're doing it. My map says it's about just over an hour away. I need to hop on a train and then it looks like it's about a mile walk from the station to the Hobbycraft. Hopefully it doesn't rain on me. If you live in the UK, this segment of the video is going to be very much lady goes to an art supply store and is shocked that they carry art supplies. But if you're curious like me what a British craft store looks like, I am here to provide that service. The soft-hitting journalism of our time. Okay, let's do it. Cold. I regret the thing I've done. There she blows. Okay, I found it. It's right next to a Pets at Home too, so I might have to get Odie something on the way back. And here she is. We made it inside. I'd say it's probably like half the size, a third of the size of a typical US Michael's or Joann's, but that's okay. It's hard to describe just how it feels for me to be released alone into a craft store with no commitments or time restraints, but it feels something like this. I'm I'm just in my happy place, looking at, touching everything. I don't own any acrylic paint anymore, so I was checking that stuff out, looking for familiar brand names, like I saw these Posca pens. They also have a more kitty craft section with felt and glitter and googly eyes and this little sausage dog mosaic. Let's pause and make some noise for the yarn section. They had a small selection of fabrics against the back wall to choose from and a variety of different sewing machines. They had different sized cups that you could fill with these loose beads, and that was really speaking to me. They had this little holiday section for Easter decorations with carrots and bunnies and chicks. I really want to see what kind of holiday stuff they have for Halloween. I was pleased to find stick wreaths and foliage and fake moss. I use that stuff quite a bit in my projects. Das is another brand I recognized. I've used their air dry clay before. They had this wood grain clay and stone imitation clay that I have not seen or tried before. That I thought was interesting. They had Fimo polymer clay, which we also have in the States. They did not carry Sculpey though. Here's the woodcraft section, craft and model paint. I was starting to get decision paralysis. Again, I need every color. Then as promised, I picked up a toy for Odie on my way home.
What you think? Oh, look, Mama got you. Hi.
Now that I have my art stuff, I am working on sorting through it and organizing it into my new little art cubby back here. I need to kind of remind myself what I have and what I got rid of, just kind of like, I don't know, survey what projects I can start working on. Now that we have a home with an address, I have started applying for jobs again. The job market here is just as shitty and brutal as it is back home. Every afternoon brings a new batch of rejection emails to really get the blood flowing. I don't understand why looking for a job has to be its own breed of psychological warfare. If you're looking for a job right now, I really feel for you and sympathize with you because that shit is hard, man. Like, I knew it would be hard finding work once we got over here because that's really just the nature of finding a job. But I think I had allowed myself a little hint, a whisper of optimism up until this point, some rose-colored glasses, hoping that maybe it would be different here. You know, it's a big city. There's a lot more creative industries and opportunities here. I thought maybe this could finally be my time to break into a field that I'm more interested in. But girl, no. The creative industry jobs that I've applied for have all been immediate rejection, like within the first day. The jobs that I've been applying to that are more in line with my prior job history, those usually take about a week to send their regards and rejections. Even part-time roles that I've applied to have been like, well, we saw your resume and actually we hate you, unfortunately, so sorry. To not get a single interview for entry-level jobs in your 30s is just so deeply humbling. It's moments like these that really make me wish that I was an extrovert with lots of friends who had jobs that could throw me a line. It's also my fault for not actually being good at anything in particular. Like, I don't have any special skills aside from
whatever this is.
God knew I'd be too powerful if I had charisma and conversation skills. I got these little thread organizer things to organize some of my embroidery floss. This bag has been my organization system for the past like 10 years. And now this is going to be the system. So I'm putting them on their own little schooly things. Also, if you hear background noise, Odie found a new ball at the park that he's been playing with for the past 3 hours. That's none of my business. I can't do anything about that. I have just been having a harder time adjusting to this move emotionally than I thought I would. Granted, I lived in Florida for 31 years and I've only been here 2 months, so take that into consideration. But I'm still just feeling so low and shitty about myself, and then deeply guilty for feeling that way. Every part of it has just been hard. Change is hard. Just when we thought we had figured out how to do something, no, it goes wrong. Finding our flat was a super stressful process. I talked about that in the last video. And we were lucky to find something when we did. But when we moved in, we discovered a bunch of stuff that needed repairs. Our washing machine was broken, so that led to 3 different repairmen coming out to look at it. We did eventually get approved for a new washer and dryer, but they couldn't replace the old one because it had been built into the kitchen cabinetry. So they couldn't remove it and replace it without tearing out the cabinets and the tile floor. So they had to essentially demo our kitchen to replace the washer and dryer, which was just like a whole thing. Then there was a leak in our ceiling that needed to be patched and fixed, and then they repainted our whole ceiling, and just a laundry list of other things. So we've had a lot of people in and out working on stuff over the past couple weeks. Our first week here, we got a letter in the mail saying that we were in breach of not having a television license, which is a criminal offense, and a formal investigation had been opened into our residence. And we were like, I'm sorry, what? Turns out you have to pay for a license to have the cable, which is different than paying for the cable. I don't know. We also got our first water bill and we're shocked by how expensive it was. Then we learned that our building doesn't have individual water meters. It just has 1 meter for the whole building, and then the price is split between everybody. Our landlord won't approve having individual meters, or maybe it's not even possible, I don't think. But as a result, our water bill is twice the average cost for a 1-bed, 1-bath apartment here. So we're trying to figure that out. And I'm like well aware that all of these things are just normal life things that everybody deals with, and it happens, and it's not special or that interesting. But just right now, with everything that's gone on, it just really feels like, man, it is one thing after another. The job search, like I said, has been really frustrating. It's also winter, and it's cold and it's gray, and my dog doesn't like being outside right now. And I'm well aware that all of this stuff is normal and to be expected when you move to a new place, but I don't think I've really been coping all that well. I've cried a lot. I think I had hoped to feel some big sense of relief or accomplishment when we got here, but I have one of those dark and twisty brains that paints everything in worst case scenario and blames anything bad that happens on my own stupidity and fragility. I don't even think these feelings are London specific. Some people on my last video thought I was criticizing or bashing the city, and no, not at all. I haven't been here long enough to have formed any sort of coherent opinion on anything, really. It's just different than what I'm used to. I'm missing my friends and my family, and I'd probably have these feelings in some capacity no matter where I went. I just kind of feel like a little rain cloud downpouring on everybody in my vicinity. I do have kind of a complicated history with therapy due to
Child of divorce reasons.
I'm also from the South, so you encounter certain health professionals who are like, well, let's just pray on this together. And I'm like, let's never schedule another appointment again. That being said, I do have a few people in my life who also struggle with anxiety and mental illness, who continuously tell me that I need a therapist. My best friend has a therapist, and she will sometimes bequeath onto me some wisdom that she has learned in her sessions. And I'm kind of like, okay, scholar, when did you learn to be an adjusted woman about town? So I don't know if it's gonna help me or if I just have too many negative associations about it in my brain already, but I'm open to it, I guess. I'm at least open to trying it if there's any chance it could help me with some of the negative thoughts that I'm navigating right now, which has moved me into phase 2, being how do I find a therapist in the UK? Their healthcare system is obviously quite different than it is in the US. They have the NHS, which is the National Health Service. And from my perusing of their website, it seems like you can access mental health talk therapy services through the NHS, but you have to be registered with a primary doctor or a GP in your area first before you can get referred to the services. So then it was like, okay, how do I get a primary doctor? I figured out how to register myself with the GP in my neighborhood. I could do that online. I didn't actually have to go in and have an appointment, which I thought was pretty nifty. So I did that, got assigned a doctor, and then I filled out a self-referral form for mental health counseling. Supposedly, somebody is supposed to call me from the NHS to discuss getting help or finding a therapist. I'm really not sure how the process works here. Is it long term? Is it just for a few sessions? Can you choose your own provider? Like, I have no idea. The US certainly has, their own issues with healthcare that I'm sure the rest of the world is keenly aware of, so I won't get into that. But I have heard that countries that have national healthcare sometimes can have issues with quite long waiting times to receive care. I'm not sure to what extent that's true here, or if it even is. The referral form that I filled out did have a disclaimer at the top being like, if you need urgent care, emergency services, like, girl, this is not the place for you. So I guess we'll see how long it takes for them to contact me. Hello there, it is the next day. The sun actually came out this weekend after 2 months of clouds. Got to go around, walk around in the sun, and I do hate to admit this, but I feel better. The cherry blossoms are blooming. My boy got to play frisbee. It was a good day, and I guess now I'm healed. No, I do feel better though. I think I'm just in a better headspace this month for sure. Also likely because I started being creative again. Hold on, let me show you. I just finished embroidering this darling little mushroom beret. I've been experimenting with this 3D embroidery technique. Here's some aesthetic Pinterest photos of me modeling it.
She was a fairy.
But I love it so much. I'm so proud of it. I didn't film a long form video of me making it, but I'm gonna post a short of the process of doing it. So if you wanna see me making it, you can go watch that. I'm currently trying to figure out how to list it for sale in my Etsy shop, but there's a bunch of country and shipping things that I need to update since we've moved, and I'm trying to figure that out to get my shop up and running again. I also bought a bunch more berets to embroider while this hyperfixation has me in its claws. It's really crazy how depression can make you believe that you suck at all of your hobbies and there's just no point in trying. But those hobbies are the only thing keeping you from falling into the dark, scary pit of despair. Depression knows this. It's tricky like that. I did hear back from the NHS. I had a appointment with a mental health advisor, assessor. It was an hour-long screening phone call, essentially, where they asked me a bunch of questions about myself. It was awkward and embarrassing, and I cried on the phone to a faceless stranger. And then the woman performing the assessment was like, okay, I'm gonna review your answers and get back to you with what kind of therapy I think would benefit you. That was 3 weeks ago, and I just heard back today. They recommended I join a group cognitive behavioral therapy class. It's a weekly class that I join online with a group of other people and listen to a presentation, I think. I really don't have high hopes for it because I don't actually get to talk about myself or like receive feedback, but I'm gonna try it. I mean, what the hell, it can't hurt me, right? Our apartment is still cursed. Our kitchen sink, the drain is blocked, so we haven't been able to use the sink. And then I stupidly started a load of laundry, not thinking that it would share the same drain line, almost caused the next great flood. A repair person is supposed to come this week to fix it, which is great because I've been doing all of our dishes and our laundry in the bathroom, and I'd really rather not. Yes, I've already broken a few of our new dishes, but it's okay. We're gonna figure it out like everything else. It's gonna be fine. And I made a hat. So I get to feel good about that. I am going to cut this vlog here. I'm pretty sure it's been like a Frankenstein of different clips, so sorry about that. I'm not sure if I'm going to continue vlogging like this. I do want to get back to making like my art related videos, but maybe I'll sprinkle in a life update vlog sporadically if I feel so inclined. But thank you so much for watching and being here. I really appreciate it. So I'll see you next time. Bye.